Finally.
Coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California. What? Hey, everyone. This is Liza.
Is it really?
Did you miss me?
It was quiet without you.
No, I mean, I've said it before and I will say it again. We are a captainless ship without you, Liza.
Rudderless.
Captainless ship. Rudderless.
Not even Dutch.
Well, let's get to who is here with us in the studio. We're going to go around to looking lovely in leopard. Are you matching leopard top and bottom?
I am indeed.
It's Miss Emma.
Hello, darlings. It's simply lovely to be here once again.
I won't say what the bottom leopard is.
As long as it doesn't eat your face.
It's a kitty cat.
Joining Emma on the couch, it's Sofia. Hello. Hey. Going around the room. We'll call them the twins because they're dressed just alike. It's Neil.
Hey there, moto people.
And Stumpy John.
Howdy ho, nerds.
That's what you're going with now.
That's what I'm going with.
And of course, we've got Bagel.
Greetings from the north.
Yeah, how are things in Velveeta, Bagel? Plenty of cheese, no doubt.
Oh, yes. I am feasting upon the cheese, as I do. It's been nice, tempered to get a little bit of rain today.
Okay.
But getting more yard work done.
Good.
Before the bad weather comes back.
How are the horses?
They're doing well, hanging out next door.
Okay,
doing their
very
thing
good.
Hanging out with the goats and that little burrito.
A regular menagerie next door, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Oh, fantastic.
It's lovely.
Okay, good-o.
And we have one special guest joining us.
How special is special?
For the first time ever, and this is what I love when you get a first-time guest, they get that like, what have I gotten myself into look in their eyes?
Yes, I feel like a rabbit in headlights right now.
Yes, it's Louisa Swaden.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
Me, I'm doing just great. I'm just soaking up the atmosphere.
Well, Louisa is a very, very interesting character, and we're going to get into all of that because you have a number of things under your belt which are of note. So I'm looking forward to the show.
Yeah, but we got other stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
first.
I know. It's other stuff.
Just wanted to say we always like to recap what we did in the garage today. And Emma, you came late. I had 3 bike projects going at once. Louisa.
Well, I was riding with my friend Mike.
But then you brought Mike back.
Yes.
So that kind of made up for it.
Yes.
But we had fork changes, sealed changes on a Triumph Bonneville. And then we had tire changes on an FC1.
Yes.
And then we had, the tightening of the steering stem nut on a KTM 690 SM.
Oh, okay.
And once he tightened it, he realized there's a notch in it.
Yeah, there usually is.
Yeah. And we had a few people come by and get some gear. So yay. Come get your free gear. I heard you had somebody last week who was totally stoked to get a jacket.
Oh, absolutely.
I love giving away stuff.
Yeah, and Mike, actually, talk about Mike Beck, got a lovely magnetic tank bag for his Bonneville.
Yes, we'll just go with that. But Louisa, this is your first time seeing the garage happen. What'd you think?
Well, pretty blown away, actually. I just think it's a fantastic community, a fantastic service that you're offering. And it's just like everyone's like a friend straight away. They come in, they spill out their problems, and then everybody's hands on. I love it. I love it. It's a community spirit that I think we're losing a little bit. And it's so nice to see a little microcosm of it around here.
Well, there's commonality. If you show up at the garage, there's commonality immediately because you like motorcycles.
Yeah.
And they're such an important part of all of our lives. That's why you get that real community feel just with a stranger.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were saying this earlier. It's a real leveler, right? When I go on tours, you often get like a taxi driver next to a PhD student, next to a CEO.
Oh, wait, a real what?
What?
A leveler?
A leveler, yeah. So we're all kind of the same. And then there's none of this class thing going on. It's just
because we have no class.
Like
No classless.
Yeah. So you like bikes? I like bikes. Where have you been? What bike you got? What's your favorite? And all of a sudden, everyone's like 12 again.
Did you say wave your bean?
What did
you hear that?
No, she did not say
It's
wave.
where you've been.
Wave your bean.
I'm
God,
gonna have
Liza.
to enunciate better.
Speak English.
Hang on a second.
Cloth ears.
Practice my mouth. I'll practice moving my lips.
So you got to go on a Westcliff ride
Yes.
and Marianne's ice cream.
What a treat that was. Yeah.
We poured one out for you there.
I told you weren't allowed to have ice
You're
cream
like,
without
you can
me.
go have the freezer pops. We're like, no.
So, to people who are listening, Marianne's Ice Cream is something of an institution in Santa Cruz, and it's handmade ice cream. And, if you're listening to this show from outside America, I mean, ice cream is extremely important to Americans. I mean, it's something I take very, very seriously.
It's like baked beans to British.
Yes, probably.
Not to stereotype, but
Not at all.
No, but yeah, no, I'll buy into that. And Marianne's, they really kind of push the envelope with flavors, and you had under my recommendation tangerine and chocolate,
yeah,
which was quite a heady combination. You seem to enjoy it.
I did. It was a bit like a Terry's chocolate orange melted in the hot sun and given to me by an angel.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Ooh, I say.
But let's get to the better
Liza
part.
would have loved it.
You got to ride the KTM 990. What'd you think?
Yeah. Well, as you said, it was a little bit lively on the throttle.
Yeah.
But after I got used to that, I sort of treated it a little bit like I would treat the Busa, gently. And it's all in that wrist control and clutch control. And then it just becomes like a dream. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. And in fact, I would like to go out again.
It gives me feelies.
But, that's a very common problem with a lot of the big, earlier fuel-injected bikes. They're very, very abrupt off the throttle. And there's a few things you can do to calm them down a little bit. But a lot of them suffer from that. They're just right there.
Yeah. It's just a question of adapting, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Adapting your style.
It is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yes, good.
Well, let's talk a bit about where we've been. Louisa and I have been on a world tour
Yes.
of the United States.
It's been a journey.
I have so much to share with you guys. So much. So it started. We went to.
Well, hang on. Can we talk a little bit about who Louisa is?
No, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
We're just quickly going through where we've been.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
I have it here. We were at the WEMA rally in Poland, Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And our friend Michelle Lamphere was the organizer of it. It's the Women's International Motorcycle Association. Write that down, Sofia. You need to join WEMA USA.
I got the app.
Oh, no, that's where we're. That's
okay.
where we're. Two different things, but we
Okay,
work
got it.
together. And this was in Poland, and she created passports and had them for everyone to get. And all of the towns there are named like Berlin, and I don't know, was there a Sweden? They were named after foreign countries and cities.
Wow.
All in this part of Maine. So people were going off on rides and coming back and stamping their passports, which is really
That's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were in this summer camp straight out of Friday the 13th. There was even a lake. 100-year-old summer camp. Well, I quickly created my own segment of the whole rally, which was the haunted history tours of the camp late at night by flashlight. That included true story, an actual murder that happened on the property, and I might have added a few more fake deaths of children. as well as
Dear God, Liza.
going through the lodge and the kitchen at night, which is this all just, like lodge kitchen, and then playing a game called Escape Room where I would lock people into the walk-in cooler.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's giving me anxiety right now. Like
It
The
was
Shining.
fun. And going into the basement and into all these cabins late at night by flashlight. And the owner was cool. He kept telling me more and more stories to share, letting me do this. But we had a great time, and it was women from around the world.
And I was going to say, was it well attended?
Yes. There was a little over 150 of us, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
with rides during the day, seminars at night, and
So
stuff
do
like
people
that.
rent bikes, the ones that came from outside?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, there was contingent from there was Japan, tons of Aussies.
Yeah.
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
oi.
You speak Stry?
Yeah. Argentina, Iceland, you name it. They were from all over.
Cool.
Really good time. And we had presenters. Haley and I presented for Wur. Louisa was presenting. Wendy and I did a mechanic class, which was one of the most well attended. I think we had like 35 people show up. It went for 3 hours just to do T-clocks because so many people had good questions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great time. Now here's the good part. I was riding the CF Moto 450 Ibex.
You've been waiting for that.
I've been waiting for this a long time. How long ago did I say that this is the next big bike?
When it first came out.
When it first came out. So I had kind of talked my friend into buying one, knowing that it would be an extra bike for me to borrow. And so I flew into upstate New York, and it was about like a 5-hour ride to Maine. So I got to really try it out. Let me tell you something. That parallel twin engine just cranks, and it's smooth. Cruising on the freeway at 80 didn't feel like vibrations, and it tracked smooth. I mean, just straight. And I still had plenty to go. We were riding 2 up, doing 82, no problem, on a 450. That little motor just humming along. But then when we got to the camp, I, of course, took the opportunity to try it out and ride some of the trails that are not made for vehicles, but for little hikers to walk down to the lake and to the cabins. And I had a great time there. In fact, I stole Michelle at one point because she was quite stressed because she had a lot of responsibility putting this on. And, sometimes people just need to be kidnapped and taken away for a moment. And I picked her up, said with the premise that I was taking her back to the lodge, instead turned and went down to the lake at sunset. We had just a moment, and I said, okay, we're taking the long way back. And I took off along the beach edge on those elevated walking pathways made of, wood slats. Boardwalks, and like jumping down from one up the other. And she's like, I don't like this. I want off.
Oh, you were 2 up?
2 up.
Yeah.
Just kept going up a hill, over some stumps, jumped. Then down a hill and then across a rickety bridge that to do it right, you really have to keep your momentum going. The problem is that it's about 2 inches wider than our knees on the bike. So you just have to aim straight, tuck in and go. And she was screaming at that. And then the next thing was coming up a hill through the bushes between some of the cabins. And I come bursting through and she's going, right as these campers are like, what the hell's going on? But that was my test ride.
How did it do in the dirt?
Wow.
Or on off-road?
Loved it. And this is the thing. It made me feel like I could go anywhere. And I was going on, hills and things, and I was taking it all over.
This explains a great deal, because one of the very first things you said to me when I arrived was, I want to sell everything and buy a CF Moto.
Are you still thinking about doing that?
I seriously am deeply considering selling the 690 and the 990, which would then give me enough cash to buy a brand new Ibex 450.
And keep the Nikon.
Yeah. I loved it. The other opportunity I had.
How much is it? How much is an Ibex?
My friend paid out the door after taxes, everything, $7,000.
So if I bought the Trikey off you, you'd only need another $1,000 and you could get the Ibex. Well, I got to try.
No, you don't. You don't have to try.
All
That's
right,
the
I'm
point.
not going to try anymore then.
And Louisa, you got to ride it. What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. Yeah. It had good power, felt very stable. Just as soon as I got on it, I just felt that I'd been riding it for years. I could highly recommend it.
The range, about 235 miles per tank. It had a longer range than the GS 1250 that Lily was riding next to me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, on this little 450. I absolutely loved it. The other thing I got to do, on one of the days, we had a little barbecue at a Harley dealership. And I was following some of the women who were heading back. I have to get back because I was running all the sound for all the speakers, seminars and stuff. I'm like, oh, I got to get back. Oh, yeah, we're going to take this other way. It's just more scenic. Cut to when you go off with a bunch of Harley riders, they're not going fast. In fact, most of the speed limits were 35 miles an hour on these back road highways. I was dying. There were some streets that were 15 mile per hour.
Oh, no.
Like the little connectors that go from one highway to the next. 50. I was dying. And so I'm out on this ride. I'm looking at my clock and I'm like, I'm not going to get back in time. I'm not going to get back. And I was like 52 minutes away still. And I just took off. I'm like, fuck it. Fuck the group. Fuck the speed limits. And I was doing about 30 over the speed limit the whole way.
So 45 in a 15.
Well, I was doing like 60, 70 on these roads.
Yeah.
And that bike just flew just with ease, managing any of the curves that were coming my way. And I soon saw a headlight behind me, gaining on me. And I came to an intersection. It was one of the women from the pack on a Triumph had broken free. She's like, fuck that. I'm like, you good with it? She's like, let's go. And she's like, it was a hooligan ride. And we just bombed home. And that was my other test on the CF Moto. I mean, it just tracked. It was planted, felt good. Sometimes lighter bikes can feel a little wobbly on high speed or
Right.
No, it felt so good. So I'm in love with it.
Wow.
I am. I'm in love.
That's okay.
Yeah. So we did that. Weema, you want to add anything to Weema?
Mom, just as you say, it was all-inclusive exercise. Everybody was making friends with new people. I've made a ton of new connections, and highly recommend it.
Today's our 2-week anniversary.
Oh, shucks.
We met 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's where we met. So our friend Michelle had said, hey, Louisa is coming to town and needs to borrow a bike in California. And I was like, sure, you can borrow my bike.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, if you're coming to Maine, then just get on my flight. Just come home with me and I'll give you a place to stay and a bike and take care of you. So, this is my little border that I got to meet.
Morphed, isn't it, to a housemate now?
Yeah, so I think finally, we can talk about who Louisa is.
No, we can't.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Emma, I have it all written down. We'll get there.
Okay, very good.
We'll get there. Because then the next thing we did is we went to the Horizons Unlimited.
Yes.
So so tell us more about this Horizons and the Hue.
Now, weren't you in Chicago for a minute too?
Just that was a layover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is Who?
Horizons Unlimited is this global network of travelers, overland travelers, really. They're like not just motorbikes, but four-wheel vehicles. And it started, I think, 25 years ago, wasn't it? It's 25 anniversary. By a couple named Grant and Susan. And really, they just put up a bulletin board to help other travelers wherever they went abroad. So this just started out as a very small, simple bulletin board. And to be honest, it's not changed an awful lot, but it has grown into something that hundreds of thousands of travelers have used.
Yeah.
And it's helped them get out of all sorts of sticky situations, and if you're a member of Horizons, and they call it the Hub, the Horizons Unlimited Bulletin Board, and you get stuck, you just put a little note out there and you will get help pretty quick.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
They started out, they were travelers, traveled around the world together on motorbike, and they just learned so much that they were sharing their resources early on.
Did we interview them at...
No.
It wasn't them, because we did interview world travelers at it'll come to me in a minute, the rally in Ohio many years ago.
Vintage?
I'm not sure who you're referring to, but they just, as somebody who's been around the world, they created a simple website that shared resources. In fact, my first time in Pakistan, when we were up at Pasu, and there was a group of people on adventure bikes coming through from China, and they had used Horizons Unlimited to connect and share a tour guide, and then they got to Pakistan and split off again. So people who are traveling around the world can use all these resources to help each other out.
So can we kind of focus in a little more on the resources that are available? So obviously, tour guides are one of them.
Well, no. I don't know, not so much to a guide.
It was just the message boards that they were able to coordinate.
Yeah, message board. So if you're in trouble and you need accommodation, you might put up there, what can I find in this area? And you might even, get free accommodation if there's another biker in that area. Resources about bikes, what the best bikes are, the best gear for traveling, the best tents.
If you're in Botswana and your bike breaks down, you can post on there and somebody might answer to help you.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
And border crossing, those sorts of things can be a nightmare. So there'll be tips about how to get, the best out of a border crossing, how to manage it in a particular country, or maybe if there's any warnings in that country, all sorts of things. It's a fantastic resource. And
so this was the California one. There's the New York coming up. I might be going to that in a couple of weeks. The Virginia one is coming up. They have them all over the country as well as the world.
It?
Mariposa.
Oh, okay.
Over near Yosemite.
Yeah, nice.
So was it all motorcycles, or were there trucks and other vehicles too?
This was all motorcycles, though. It is open to any overland vehicles. So I got to talk about the Jeep, which Louisa also loves. Tell them your love for the Jeep, Louisa.
My love for the Wrangler.
That's right.
Well, it all started about 10 days ago when I was introduced to the Wrangler. And at first I thought it would just be a little trip down the road, maybe grab something to eat. And it turned into this marvelous expedition to see the redwoods. And oh my God, I'm just so in love. I was on the phone saying,
Louisa, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there.
What have I said?
I'm going to stop you right there. We are not talking about your fucking Jeep on this podcast anymore, Liza. Moving on.
She took the bait.
I did.
So at the Horizons Unlimited rally, they have all these different seminars on people who've traveled all over in different countries, as well as there was one seminar on camping stoves. Just camping stoves. Yeah.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, as well as remember from our rally, Bill Edgar, who was from ADV Moto Pros.
Yes.
Well, one of his partners from that, Rob Day, was there teaching, ADV lessons. Our good friend Hector was there. So it was nice. We made a lot of new friends, old friends.
Yeah.
And it was a cool thing.
And Sam was there. And it was your first time being introduced to Sam
Manicom.
Yeah, great friend.
Yes.
Great guy. Great author.
Yeah. So that's where we've been. But now...
Who?
We can
you were at who?
We were at who? But now we can go back to Louisa's story, which I've heard a few times now.
Well, she's clearly a fan of the Jeep.
Well, Liza let me actually drive it. We do actually have a video of that event.
Yes.
All I can hear is you say, Jesus Christ.
She's aiming for the pothole.
Yeah, you just skidded near a cliff. I think that was another quote.
She had too much fun.
You know, I think in an alternative universe, there is a Jeep podcast and somebody on that insists on talking about motorcycling and gets an equally stony response from the other podcasters. But that's not this universe. This universe is all about motorcycling.
The KLR is the Jeep of the motorcycle world.
Right, exactly.
Trust me on this.
So here's the deal. Because I was running sound at both events, I got to hear Louisa's presentation a few times. But the first time, I was very interested because this is somebody who's coming to stay with me, my new friend, and I was quite surprised at the beginning of her seminar, that a picture came up that I might be in.
Yeah.
And she started to tell the story
Of
how I was the inspiration for everything she's accomplished.
Oh, God help her.
I don't think that's quite the words I use, Liza.
Do we have a bucket I can vomit in, please?
You were there.
I'll let you tell your version of it.
Right. Well, what do you want to hear? So, the first time we met, I know this is our 2-week anniversary, but actually I had seen you from afar.
Yeah.
And I thought you were this untouchable great star.
If you use the word admiration, I shall never forgive you.
I might have been in my Evel Knievel jacket at the Ace Cafe.
So that's
little
how
noticeable.
We came into close orbit, though that was that was what, 6 years ago now? Yeah, 25.
Yeah.
So this was the
6
original
years.
Women's Rider World Relay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
When you were hanging out with that Haley Bell, that troublemaker.
Well, Haley technically was on the ride bringing the group in. I was there holding down the fort.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I remember what you were wearing as well.
The red, white, and blue
Evel
jacket.
Knievel jacket.
God.
Yeah. So you kind of stood out.
Sickly hero worship, it sounds like. But nevertheless, so you met you introduced into the orbit, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So this is the Women Riders World Relay.
Yeah.
And I was a fledgling rider at that point, trying to get more experience. And I heard about this amazing relay that was uniting women all around the world through a baton being passed from woman to woman. And I just rang the organizers and I said, hey, do you need any help? And as it so happens, the Italian ambassador wasn't able to complete the ride and they needed someone to help move some ladies and a baton across Italy. And I thought, well, why not? Let's just say yes and do that. So I got involved with that, and that started me on a roller coaster of a journey, which actually led to me now being here and writing my first book, which is published, about a month ago now.
You're looking remarkably smug, Liza.
She has the title of Lady.
Lady of Speed 2019.
Wow.
There you go.
Congratulations.
As well as a few other things I'll take credit for. But go ahead. Tell your story.
So that introduced me to some people. I introduced a lot of people to each other, but it was crucially important for me because I met a lady there whose partner was building a part streamlined LPG bike, designing and building it 1,000 cc's to take to Bonneville Speed Week that very year. And one thing I didn't know, but I was told, is that the bike itself gets the record and you're allowed up to 5 what they call pilots. And she was telling me this story and I was drinking a few more wines and just chilling a bit. She casually mentioned that there were 4 currently assigned to this bike. Now, I'll put this into context. I was actually quite a fearful returning rider. So I'd passed my test like 25 years earlier. A couple of weeks after that, I found out that I was pregnant and I didn't ride again until I was like 50. And when I came back to riding, I jumped straight onto a 1,000cc bike, and that was an Indian Scout, went across America. But I was a wobbly rider, very wobbly indeed. So I was just a bit afraid, should we say, of speed. However, when I saw this story, my heart just jumped, and I saw it as the opportunity to do something absolutely ridiculously impossible that I thought, I'll work it out how I do this later. I'm just going to say, do you mind if I become number 5? And that's where it started.
And so you're part of this team?
Yes. So I get the gig, and then I suddenly realize I've actually never sat on a sports bike before. Oh my God, what shall I do now? So I rang up the only person I knew who would have some experience in speed. It's a guy called Talon Skills Piggins, who's a paraplegic world championship racer. And he said, my God, what an opportunity. You cannot turn this down. I said, well, I'm not, but I'm slightly terrified. He said, well, so I'm in the UK, right? I'm based in the UK. And he said, we don't have any salt plains in the UK, but the next best thing is actually sand. And we do have a beach in Wales called Pendine, where land speed record attempts are made and have been made for, in fact, 100 years.
Do you know this place, Emma?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So I said, right, okay, well, I'm going to need to practice. Shall I just turn up? And he said, no, you can't do that. Number one, it's the MOD, it's a Ministry of Defence beach, so they tell you when you can use it. And number two, there are times of the year that you go and race, because the tide has to be just perfect. You have to have the right tidal range, and it has to happen, in the midday, so that you get maybe 4 or 5 hours of racing opportunity. So he said all of that, and I said, well, okay, well, when's the next meeting? He said, well, he looked at his calendar and he said, there's only 2 meetings this year. One is in May and one is in September. And this was now April, right? I said, okay, cutting a bit fine. Well, when's the next meeting exactly? And he said, it's in 10 days' time. So I had no leathers, no helmet, right? No experience, no license to race, no club, and no bike. And,
no problem.
Yeah. And I thought, all right, let's just get to work, because I'm not turning this opportunity down. And in that 10 days, frantic phone calls and pleading, I borrowed some leathers, borrowed a helmet. The boots arrived an hour before I left for Pendine, and I got the bike just 3 or 4 days before. And this beautiful little bike was actually cost less than the price of a mobile phone. It's about £1,200. And it was a ZX6R, been raced into the ground by some kids, and it had been butchered. The lights were off. I didn't even have a kickstand on it, and all the electrics were cut up. It was just designed to rag around a racetrack. And I wanted this, and I thought, this'll do. I only had a daytime running MOT, which, as you know, Emma, would be, I couldn't ride it in the dark.
Right, because you had no lights.
Exactly. So wherever I went, and at the time I was living kind of 300 miles away from Pendine, so I had to do that journey, make sure I got there. And I did. And I got all this done, and this wonderful bike with a heart got me to Pendine. And the next thing I wondered was, well, how do I get this thing through inspection? Because I just rocked up with this bike. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I went to the best place that you can find something out, and that was the pub. Yes. I went to the pub called The Beach on Pendine Beach, and I just I thought, I'm going to surrender to fate. Let's see see if anybody wants to give me a hand here. So I kind of sat down next to some guys who kind of looked like they knew what they were doing, and I said, "Hi, I'm Louisa. I've got a bike outside. Can you just give me a couple of tips?" Anyway, the community of racing, community of motorcycling just descended upon me. And over the course of that 2 or 3 hours in that pub, a few beers later, I had promises to help the very next morning. And everybody descended. And there's things that needed to be done to make it past tech inspection. And one of them was just take all the mirrors off. Another one was disconnect the front brake because it's super, super dangerous to touch the front brake on sand. I was given pointers and, they stuck my number on my helmet, which was 42. And if you know me, why, you know.
Hey, look at this guy over here.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
Yep.
If you know, you know.
I know. Yep.
So that was because it's the meaning of life and everything from Hitchhiker's Guide.
I was going to let Neil say it.
Oh, sorry.
You
No,
spoiled
I
it.
didn't want to steal your spotlight.
No,
Never
yeah,
forget
yeah.
your towel.
So
Find the
that was
nerd
my
in the
number.
crowd.
So everything was done on a budget, and I thought, one run, just give me one run so that I know I can start this bike, get it across, get it to the timing lights, a mile down the beach, and then that'll be it, because I'm absolutely terrified. And I thought, okay, I can do this, I can do this. And it's funny, and I don't know if other people can relate to this, but there are times in your life when a certain calmness descends on you, even when everything is loud around you. It's kind of like when you're on a threshold to doing something and you think, oh, I've done all I can. I've got the bike. I've had people check it over. I'm committed. There's no way I'm not going to do this. And once you take away that, this calmness can descend on you. And all of a sudden, everything just became absolutely crystal clear. And I knew what I had to do. And I was just focused on that end, focused on those lights. And then I thought, this is it. Told me, twist back that throttle really slowly, treat it gently, because your back wheel is going to start spinning if you launch too quickly. And I just thought, I've listened to everything. Everyone's been helpful. I'm going to just take that advice and I'm just going to go for it. And that was just like the first run. Wow. The fastest I'd ever been on a bike. It was probably not even much more than like 90 or something like that first run. But
bet it felt faster than that, though, didn't it?
Yeah, because I had heard some horror stories, right? The beach had a lot of shells on, and somebody had to comb that beach for all these shells. And jellyfish, would you believe, a major obstacle to going fast on sand is avoiding these jellyfish, which obviously you've got no chance of going at speed. But it's that little thing in your head. You think, well, hit a jellyfish, I'm off, So anyway, I was able to quieten my mind. I was able to do that run. And then something bit me. And I don't mean literally. I meant more like a bug. Something just got me. And I thought, one more run. Did another run, just a few more miles faster. And then I thought, just one more run. And little by little, I sort of got that speed up just a little bit more. And I was just pushing that boundary, that fear boundary, just a little bit more. And by the end of the day, I still hit every run was a PB, and I must have been around about 120, which was huge for me. Huge. I can't underestimate this. I was not going faster than 50 miles an hour just 18 months before that, and that's on the freeway. So. It was pretty momentous.
Have you ridden on the sand, Emma?
Never ridden on the sand. I've ridden on the salt, but the sand, that to me is quite terrifying. I bet it moves around a little bit underneath you.
Yeah, it does, and there's this, you've heard of like death wobbles and things like that. But I taught myself all this. I thought if it starts to wobble, I'm just going to have to go faster. And, and I did. So.
And just to clarify for people, this is not the loose sand. This is the packed.
Yeah.
Wet
This
sand.
isn't the sand you get, in the desert. It's pretty hard packed. It's there. It's used for land speed record racing. Malcolm Campbell with Bluebird. I don't know if your listeners would have known that, but he was there and he got a record at the turn of the 20th century. Yeah.
So did that give you the speed bug?
Oh, yeah. Big time. I remember I bought this bike to be a one-time use, disposable bike. But now, that bike has just got my heart. I've recently named it.
Oh, you still got it?
Yeah, yes. I've restored it, and it's been christened Sand Phoenix, because that bike was never meant to last more than a year. I think when the guys sold it to me, they thought, oh God, she doesn't know what she's got. But actually, it had the heart of a lion. And I'll skip forward a bit to explain, but after the Bonneville gig, I went back to Pendine, and that's where I managed to get a land speed record or two and become, as far as I know, the fastest woman on sand on two wheels. So, this meant that this bike had gone from really just a scrap heap bike, and now Pendine Museum of Speed want to feature it.
Yeah, that's good.
Fantastic.
Wow. And I've named it, christened it Sand Phoenix. It's a little bit homage to the phoenix rising from the
Is
ashes.
this lady thing a real thing? Is it the opposite
Lady
of a lord?
Speed. No, it just means you get your picture in the pub,
They anoint you with a knight or something?
I got a little trophy, which is really cute. It's really cute. Yeah.
Nice. So what was next?
Well, after that first sand, I managed to do a couple of days, and that was May. So Speed Week then. Speed Week came about, and in August. And Speed Week 2019, for anyone who remembers it, was blighted a bit by bad weather. There was a lot of rain. There was a lot of slushy salt going around. And they're responsible people, so they would cancel it. And every morning we'd listen on the radio, are there any runs open? Are there any runs open? So I was there to ride this part streamlined LPG bike. With 4 other pilots, and every day we'd wake up hoping that we could race that day. And it wasn't until Tuesday of Speed Week that they said, yes, the runs are open. And there was like 5 miles of queue. I think it was like 8 hours or 10 hours of queuing to get to the start line. Yeah. And the guy who built the bike, Dino, he had the first run. And he took this bike out. And you know what? Bonneville, there's no sure thing in Bonneville. Unfortunately, at the end of that run, we found that there was an engine fault, and that was the bike pretty much off the runs now. So
that was an LPG, a gas bike.
Yeah.
Liquid propane gas.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a beautiful bike, but this is it. This is the story of Bonneville. It's dreams that can be fulfilled or dashed in a second. So I was pretty depressed about this, as you can imagine. All this way, got the bike, got the leathers, did a little bit of work on Pendine to get myself speed aware. And then that was it. The dream's over. Then something extraordinary happened.
You met me again.
A barbecue, actually. It was a barbecue in the car park of the Golden Nugget Hotel.
I'm fond of the Golden Nugget.
There's not an awful lot near the Salt Flats, right? There's just a small sort of 2-horse town and a motel with a casino and a couple of garages.
Oh, it's much bigger now.
Is it?
There's a bunch of big casinos.
Oh, is there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Try your luck on the Salt.
Yeah.
If not, just try your luck on Red. So this time, and space was at a premium, so we were having a barbecue in the car park. And I was just explaining my disappointment, how much I wanted this to kind of demonstrate to people what could be done by saying yes, even when you're not ready. And I thought, that's a damn shame, because this is a great story to tell. And a couple of Americans came over and they said, well, why don't you just get another bike? And I said, that sounds like a great idea. Look, we're in the middle of nowhere. Where are we going to get another bike from? We've got to get it ready, got it technical inspection. So they did start looking and looking around on eBay, but there was nothing for hundreds of miles. And then I just put it down to Budweiser optimism, and I sort of slunk back. And anyway, a few more moments later, and I remember I was walking towards a chicken wing the barbecue. And I walked behind a guy who had a phone in his hand. And I looked over his shoulder and I saw this thing of absolute beauty. And I had a premonition, and possibly one of the first times I've ever had one. And I thought, I'm going to ride that bike. I'm going to ride that bike at Bonneville this week. And I didn't even know where this bike was. I didn't know it was still for sale. It was a salt white Hayabusa. And I just thought it was gorgeous. Anyway, flicked through it. Oh, yeah, it's in budget. A few more minutes later, it's in Salt Lake City. That's not far. It was like the only bike that was local, in budget, and it was one that I had just fallen in love with at first sight. So, yep, it was still for sale. Made a few frantic calls, and then it dawned me again. I'm just saying yes, and I don't have a means to get this bike, get it insured, get it registered, get the plates sorted out. Oh,
you're underestimating the Salt family.
Boy, did I underestimate the Salt family.
That's what Jim and I learned.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, a couple of others, a couple called Suzanne and Vito, overheard this and said, "We'll help you." They'd only met me like the day before. I mean, wow. Okay, we'll get you there tomorrow. We'll get and look at this bike. Vito knew his way around a Hayabusa. So, okay, let's do it. Stopped drinking at that very moment. Well, I might have had another one. And then, so the very next morning, it was Wednesday morning, remember it well, went down, saw the bike, checked out, looked okay, sat on it for the first time, stalled it within the first 10 meters. There's actually a video of that, which I can't deny it. And then we somehow got it back to the Salt Flats. So this was Wednesday, late Wednesday. Now, I don't know if anyone knows much about Bonneville, but there are rules. There's a rule book as thick as your head on how you have to prepare a bike to race on the Salt. I didn't know what I was doing, but the Salt family did. And again, 3 more complete strangers who didn't even ask my name just said, "Bring it over to our garage, we'll sort it out." And they went about putting in the kill switch, taking off the lights, putting red bits of tape on it just because it was a white fairing bike. And if, God forbid, anything had happened, they want to be able to find the pieces easy on the white Salt. So things like that, welding the battery into place because that had to be secured in case, again, it flew off. All these sorts of things. And then 1 minute to 8, I remember the time because we were escorted off the Salt at 8 o'clock by security and they'd done the job. Wow. Next morning, technical inspection. I was feeling pretty confident. Everything was checking out except for one thing. Valve stems. This $5 part. They were rubber and they needed to be metal. Now
does that make sense? I'm trying to figure out
the tire valve stems.
Yeah,
the valve stems were rubber.
Yeah,
oh.
they like metal bolt-in valve stems.
Yep. And of course, that isn't just a quick fix. That we had to take the wheels off. There was nowhere on the flats that you could do that. So it was like, okay, it's Wednesday. And the weather was starting to roll back in again. We saw some storm clouds on the horizon. And in fact, they'd only opened, I think, 2 courses. There's a rookie course, a long and a short course. This is 2019. I don't know if that's changed, but at the time. And I think they'd only opened 2 because one was in a bit of a bad state. And anyway, so we thought, okay, let's not give in. Come too far for that. We got down to Wendover, looked in a shop and no metal valve stems. Damn it. Let's go to the garage and see if they've got any. One garage. I went there. Said, "Can you help us? Have you got any valve stems? And could you very quickly just put them on?" No, sorry, we don't have any valve stems. Oh no. Okay. There's one other shop we haven't tried. So we zip down. On the shelf, one set of valve stems left. Picked it up. Great. Rushed right back to this garage. And they said, "I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait in line."
Oh.
Oh no, the fire chief's truck is here, and I'm sorry, he goes first. I explain, I've come all the way from England. I bought a bike. I practiced on sand. Now here I am. I've got these people are helping me. I've just bought this bike. Can you just make a little exception? Sorry, ma'am. That's the fire chief. Anyway, then occurred the most tense, stressful hour of my life. The weather was still coming in, right? And we thought, this is just not going to work out. Walked around a bit more, got more worried. And then Vito just took it upon himself. So this was the guy, Vito and Suzanne, who'd helped get the bike in the first place. He's a mechanic. He just wheeled my bike into that garage and he started working on it. And the owner of the garage and everybody just sort of stared at him. And at that point, it could go either way, right? It could be like, get the hell out of my garage. Or, okay, we'll give you a hand. And it was the latter. And almost without speaking, people came around and then started to winch up my bike and do the wheels. Wow. I just thought another moment where it could have all gone horribly wrong. Right, so we've got that done. Right, in the car, back over towards the flats. I didn't know it, but we got back to the flats and they'd closed the rookie course. The rookie course is the one that budding racers will go on first because, it's a shorter course. You're limited in any case to 150 miles an hour. And you have to stick to the rules. You have to show you're safe and that you follow the instructions. And that's why they have these rules and all the licenses go up in steps. And they closed the rookie course. And I thought, that's it. The dream's over. We've come all this way and I can't do my rookie run. I went and found a guy called Jim Hoogerhide, who's one of the SCTA officials. You've met Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, is this rookie course, is it going to stay closed? And he said, yeah. I said, I've come all the way from England. I've been racing on sand to practice. We've just been to the garage, the fire chief.
Did you start crying?
And he said, whoa. He said, why don't you just do it on the long course? I said, can I? He said, yeah, why not? So it's just a label, the rookie course. The long course was still open. Hallelujah. Right, let's get this thing through technical inspection. And by this time, it was getting later in the day. So this was, I think it was Thursday. So it was getting late. And the queues weren't so big. We got through technical inspection perfectly, and then I went round to wait, and I thought, they're going to close. Well, I was rushing every step of the way. Was now emergency. The rain clouds were coming in. We'd heard some horror stories. The salt was slushy. There were ruts, but I didn't care. I just wanted this one run. Right? So we got to the start line, and I always remember, I don't know why, the War of the Worlds was in my head, and I just thought this song was just going over and over. I remember I had to get changed in the back of a car, and a fire suit on, everything was sticking, but I was going to do this, and finally got to the front. And again, the same thing happened. I got very, very calm. My heart rate must have gone right down. And I knew that this was a cusp of something so important. And it was a tremendous transformational moment. I'd reduced the risk as much as I possibly could. And now I accepted my fate. I was purely at one with whatever may happen to me right now. I was going to do my best to get as close to 150 as possible. Another thing Jim said is you can't trust your speedo because, just like the sand, the salt is going to make your back wheel spin. So he said, head for, 160, 170. I thought, okay, I'll do that. And all that was in my head. I thought, right, I've got this. Went off, got the flag, gently with the throttle. I remember there was this stillness, I didn't even really hear the roar of the engine. There was this stillness that was happening, and it was the salt, the white, the blue of the sky, and I felt totally at peace and at one and present with this moment. And I just looked down. I was doing like 120. Okay, I've got a little bit more. And I went up to 170, and I was just in bliss. Got to the end, and then just let the engine brake. Rolled over to the left, which is where you go to be picked up. The rules are get off the track and wait for your crew to arrive. And you're a couple of miles away from everyone by that time. I remember pulling over and just thanking the whole world, the whole universe for this one moment in time where truly, I'm getting goosebumps now, truly, everything came into sharp focus about the beauty of life, the opportunities that we can have if we just keep saying yes, the people who'd come together for that one moment to help me. And I knew I just wanted to help other people. And I didn't know how at that time, but I do now. And that is to tell this story, to encourage other people, to don't let anything stop you. If you've got a dream, even if you don't feel ready, say yes. You'll work it out later.
Does that motto sound familiar? Have you heard it before?
Oh, yeah.
That would be a Naked Jim thing.
Yeah, just say yes.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So what was your time?
Well, the
Or your
time.
speed?
So yeah, I had to be capped at 150, and this was a Hayabusa that was just bought off the road, off in Salt Lake City, 139.
Nice.
Yeah. I was the fastest I'd ever been up to that point.
and that's plenty. That's plenty.
But now that you've gone that speed, the cap is moved, right? So
Yeah. Well, that just buoyed me with enthusiasm and said, then I went back to the sand, and then I got the fastest lady, the Lady of Speed title. And then 2 weeks later than that, I was actually at an old airfield at Elvington, which is in the sort of middle of England. And I went there just to practice on something a bit more familiar, tarmac, for a while. And again, friends offered me the chance to ride a Bandit. I just did that, and I was maxing out that throttle time and time
You got
again.
Emma's attention with that.
All right.
Yeah, but no, Bandit's very good bike for that kind of behaviour.
Yeah. So I was just enjoying my time, being back amongst friends, and then this right at the end of the day, an opportunity came my way, and a guy called Jack Frost of Whole Shot Racing came up to me and said, I've been watching you on that Bandit. You look like you're having a good time. And I like the way you move off the start line. I like the way you're gentle. And would you like to have a go at my ZX-10R Turbo? Well, yeah.
Just say yes.
You say yes.
Is there any bike that would intimidate you at this point?
They're just a vehicle for joy right now. Every vehicle. So I said, yeah, I really would like that. So my fastest time had been 1:45 up until that time. And I had this one shot at a turbo from a guy who's a brilliant mechanic builder and racer. And I thought, I'm not wasting this.
Emma.
Yes.
You know this bike with a turbo on tarmac.
Yes.
What's your guess for top speed?
So, I mean, the ZX-10, it's like 174 out the box, and then you put the turbo on, and turbos do work in quite a peculiar way. You should mid 190s, pretty easy. It'd be my best guess.
Yeah. So I was able just to pull that throttle back gently, again, expunge fear from my mind, and I got to 203.
Wow, that's amazing.
Whoa. Well done.
Thank you.
Wow.
I think it was a culmination of everyone around me, and that feeling that this is my one chance. I'm just going to let fate dictate what happens and keep squeezing that throttle back.
Were you just holding on for dear life?
Oh God, yeah. And I remember finishing that run, and I'd been used to finishing a run at 1:45, rolling off the throttle a bit, and then when I get to like 90, sticking my head up. This time, I must have stuck my head up, and it was like I was still going at 140, and I thought, "Whoa, you stop, get back down!" As you still got a ways to go to actually slow down to a point where you can stick your head up.
But it felt like you were doing 20, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, these days, yes, you're absolutely right. You get normalized, don't you, to speed, and that. Oh man, I just have to keep thanking everybody. I've written a book about this as well to share this experience, and it's hopefully to inspire people to keep saying it.
Have you?
Oh yeah. Did I not mention that? And there is one chapter in it. So it's called The Stoic Rider, right? Let's just explain it. And it's this fusion of stoicism and motorcycling, and it's really just to explain some of the lessons that I've learned along the way through having a stoic mindset. The core of which is identifying what's in your control and what isn't, and putting your attention and focus on the thing that is. And you know what? The only real thing that is in your control is your reaction to your environment.
Neil he saw the books today. There was a little book sale going on outside, and he's like, "Oh, Stoic, I know about that." And he starts telling me about it, and then he's like, Marcus Aurelius. Oh my God, I've heard that name so much.
Yeah, you get a tattoo, aren't you, Marcus Aurelius?
Not unfamiliar with philosophy.
Yeah.
It comes up once or twice in your book.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Stoics talk about this, no one rides alone is the chapter I've called it, and it's about the sense of community that's so important for a good life. And that's what we have, whatever bike you ride, wherever you go, if you're a motorcyclist or you're in motorcycling in any way, you have a family, and that is so important. So they emphasize that, and I emphasize that aspect. And the whole aspect about being in the environment and feeling the elements. I think it's Robert Pirsig said, on a cycle, he said, you're on the frame, but you're part of the scene. You're not separate from it. Like when you're behind a piece of glass, you're in the world. You're undeniably here.
The way I've always kind of, they're looking at a quote on a phone, but the way I've always thought about it, a car looks exactly the same whether a driver's in it or not, and I think that really is the relationship between the driver and the car. Motorcycle isn't complete until it's got a rider on it, and then it becomes complete, and you are very much part of it.
Yes.
Just from a visual standpoint, often motorcycles look quite awkward. And you think, and then you see one with a rider on it, and you think, that's what they were thinking.
Yes.
You really are very much, it's a far more visceral and complete experience.
Yes.
Fun question for another time. What would be the most awkward motorcycle?
Or without a rider? Without a rider on it? Or in terms of styling?
Yeah.
John Player Norton. They're ugly as sin until you put a rider on it. And then you realize, oh, that's what they were thinking. Now, John Player Nortons are just revolting motorcycles. And then you see a rider on it, and you think, oh, that makes a lot more sense.
So now you guys can see the arc that started with when she met me to everything she accomplished.
Right. I see.
It makes sense.
Do you want Liza's autograph, perhaps? I mean, would you like a signed picture of it to put on your bedside table?
She's already given me 3.
Oh, I'm sure she has. Liza's head will become so swollen she won't be able to get through that door when this podcast is over.
Can we talk a bit about what we've been plotting?
Scheming?
No, it's too soon.
Come on.
Well, okay, go on then. What the hell? You heard it here first.
So as we've just been talking about, all the stuff, and mentioned that, I'd been to Bonneville just recently and what a great time. And she's like, are you gonna go back next year? Like, I think I might. I mean, once you're in the Salt family,
Yeah.
and you get to know how many people that we already know there, and what a great time we had. Like, I think so. And then she was like, well, maybe I can bring my bike out of storage.
So the uncanny thing is, just before I met up with you at Weimar, I took a little flight down to New Jersey to meet up with Suzanne and Vito and just to thank them for everything they'd done. And they still had the bike. They couldn't part with it because they basically bought it off me again, and then they kept it in the garage. And it meant such a lot to them to be part of this dream that they still had it. And I got the opportunity to ride it again just a few weeks earlier. And then I said, I think I want to take this home with me back to the UK. So they said, right, it's here whenever you want it. And now we just thought, hang on a minute, I got a booster.
The pieces started fitting in. And I said, well, if you need to make it go faster, I've got a mechanic, Emma.
Yes.
And we've got a crew. John, Neil, Jim, I'm sure he'd come. Bagel.
I could be convinced, perhaps.
So,
And
I've
I
always
thought-
had
You
a
could put
fondness for the
Sofia on
salt.
it as a pilot.
Well, then I thought,
Well, actually.
well, you can, did you know, Louisa, you can have up to 5 pilots per
Yeah,
bike.
hearsay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think we have a few volunteers. Bagel?
I've been getting down to race weight, actually.
Bagel wants in. Neil,
Yep.
you want in.
All 10 stone of me.
Let's see.
Scotty wants in.
okay.
Mm.
I haven't asked Charlie yet, but I bet you Charlie would say yes.
Or Mike Miranda. He's a little big, though.
He's so big.
Yeah.
We could easily fill the crew.
Oh,
John, you want to do it?
You ain't put my fat ass on the back of that thing. You ain't going to win nothing.
Emma, you want to do it?
I'm too old and fat, but I'll build you a very, very fast motorcycle.
So we're just sitting there going like, what if we had the Misfits team at Bonneville with Louisa, supporting Louisa and her bike, and hopefully some other people being able to get rides once it
Yeah. So
gets going. And we're like,
looking at
this could happen.
So, yeah, and what we're going to do is
very interested.
we're really going to push the rule book because we're going for a very specific class. So we can't use nitrous.
Yeah.
We can't use turbocharging or supercharging.
Yeah.
So forced induction is off the table. I've just got to build you a fast engine, don't I?
Oh, yeah, exactly. But you could do it. I was telling her.
Oh, yeah.
We got it.
One question, Emma. Will it be stretched?
No, but it will have neon purple underglow.
Oh,
Ooh.
That's naff.
Because I like the idea of like doing well over 200 miles an hour on the salt with this nice neon lighting underneath. I think that's just going to be the way to go forward.
So tell us a little more about this book.
Oh, the book. So, yes, the book was launched on the 9th of August at the Pendine Museum of Land Speed, which is quite a new museum. It wasn't there when I raced, but they were kind enough to invite me to launch the book and just give a talk, which I did. And yeah, so it's out now. It's available now, and on Amazon. The book is a fusion, as I say, of stoicism and motorcycling. And there are so many comparables with the Stoics and the mindset of a motorcyclist.
Does that apply to Jeeps also?
Liza, I need you to move away from the subject.
Step away from the heat.
Step away from the Jeep talk.
So, well, all right, I'm going to try and avoid the Jeep talk, but but you are in the elements in a Jeep as well, so that kind of is
Fuck me, this is a hopeless cause. It really is.
Oh God. But if anybody's read like the Art of Zen and the Art of Motorcycling, it's kind of a lighter version than that. It's I think it's a easy to read. You could take it a chapter at a time, and every chapter is a story, perhaps a story of one of my adventures in motorcycling. And I it's not been long. I haven't really returned for about 10 years, no, not even that long, maybe 8 years I've been
actually,
back
I'm
motorcycling.
glad you brought up Zen, because I'm going to bring up the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
As good a book as it is, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is not bedtime reading. It is quite...
Oh, I'm so happy to hear you say that. It's a slog.
It's a slog. It is quite a cerebral read.
Yeah. There's a trick to reading it, though.
Yeah, I mean...
You've got to get high.
No, you have to treat it as 3 different books.
Yeah, but nevertheless, whether you treat it as 3 different books, it's still quite a chunky read. And I haven't really dipped into yours, but I will take your word for it.
Yeah,
that it's a lighter read.
Yeah.
I shall be propping myself up in bed tonight with a gin and tonic.
Excellent. And
I shall dip in, because I bought a copy.
Yes, I am very grateful to you for that.
Well, I think a lot of people did.
Yep.
Are we allowed to say how much we paid, or are you? I mean, how much is your book?
It's around $15. Yeah.
So didn't we get a discount then? That wasn't very fair, was it?
You got a signature. That's going to be worth a lot of money one day.
I was trying to help you out earlier when I was telling everyone it's much higher price, but we'll make a deal for you.
Good Lord. No, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy dipping into it tonight.
Excellent. Yes. Well, let me know what you think. And if any of the chapters leap out at you more than others.
And I wanted to go a little off topic for a second, but say there's other things in your life that also have come because of this. Some other accomplishments. You've been on this journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to brag about some of your other?
I'm not a bragger by nature. As a Stoic, I am humble.
Stoic. Right.
But as another example, shall we say, of how important mindset is to practically everything about controlling your thoughts. So I've not really been an athlete all my life, but I suddenly decided 18 months ago I was going to set myself a target, and that was to take part in the British National Championships for powerlifting in the UK. And I thought I'm going to apply these Stoic principles to the art of powerlifting. Again, it's all about motion in particular, but on a bike, running, cycling, or even lifting weights brings you into the present moment. You can control your thoughts. There were times when I really didn't want to be at the gym, but I just kept on bringing myself back. I just said, yeah. Finish. Yeah, I kept bringing myself back and saying, this is an emotion. You're telling yourself you don't want to be here. Now let's reframe that. Just say, every moment you're here, you're contributing to your goal. Every moment you're here, you're getting healthier, stronger. If you can watch what you're thinking and twist it around, you'll find that you reduce the amount of suffering. There's like Stoicism as well as Buddhism. It's all suffering is resistance to what is. And if you can accept what is here, accept the flow, and then the suffering tends to alleviate.
So if Emma reads your book, can she learn to control her mind? Because if you could see what she's thinking at any given time.
Liza,
lost for words.
No, you see, Liza is very eager to find out what's going on in my head during my particularly vacuous moments, and I can tell you, nothing is what's going on in there. It's a completely empty vessel. So, and I should point out, because of course, this is a podcast, so people can't see you. And I mean, you're clearly in good shape, but you are not built like Godzilla.
No. And
you do not look like a powerlifter.
No. And there are ladies much smaller than me who can lift more than me. It's the human body is incredibly interesting because the strength isn't necessarily bulk. And also the powerlifting is a sport that you can take up at any age, and you are competing against your peers, right? So I'm over 21.
I mean, we can go there because, this is just a conversation amongst friends. How old are you, dear?
Oh,
Over 21.
over 21 and under 60.
But we can say she is a grandmother.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of this was done in my sixth decade, I suppose. That's
Yes.
yeah. All of this, and that's another thing I talk about in the book. Don't let your age define you. Don't ever let your lack of self-belief. I set myself this goal to compete in the British Nationals, and I made it in June.
Now
I did.
So I'm imagining looking back at your life, and I'm not going to take too many guesses, but obviously being a mom is clearly quite a large portion of it. Were you particularly dynamic as a teenager? I mean, taking a test on a motorcycle in England was sufficiently unusual for a woman back then. Where was your mindset as a teenager?
My teenage years were a confused time.
I think for a lot of teenagers, there's a commonality there.
Yes, I had lost my father, unfortunately, in my early teens, and my mother wasn't really available to help me in certain ways to make sense of the world, and that's kind of where I turned to Stoicism, only very lightly. In fact, and I don't know many people who perhaps will remember the 70s program called Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that kind of was the beginning of my moral guidance through life. Was the teachings of Master Po, I think it was, and the pebble from the hand and the grasshopper. Yes, snatch the pebble from the hand. But somehow that soothed me. It's like I couldn't understand a world that would take my parents away. So that kind of gave me some guidance. This is a good way to live. This seems logical and sensible. And you know what? You can beat the crap out of someone if they don't do what you say anyway. So I kind of thought, oh, this is the way I want to live. I want to be strong, but I also want to be wise. And that carried me forward. Now primarily, the motorcycling at that age was, I got my first job. It was only a couple of miles up the road, and I wanted a scooter. So that was it. It was a very practical reason.
Right.
I wasn't part of any groups or gangs. It was just a practical, but I did enjoy it. I knew I enjoyed it. And then when I got the opportunity to take my test, I thought, well, I'm going to take this because then I can go above 125, which was the limit at the time, 125 bikes. So I thought, I'll take the test. I had a friend who's doing it anyway, so I had a bit of camaraderie going. And then I took it, and 2 weeks later, I discovered I was pregnant. And that was a game changer for me. I took it very seriously. I thought, I'm not going to jeopardize a child. And so I just didn't ride again for like 24, 25 years. The kids had grown up by the time I went back, and they've got their lives. And I kind of thought, it's back to me again now. It's time.
So I was going to ask you that, because you've achieved so much in a relatively short space of time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have this great epiphany to get you here, or was it just something that had been brewing for a long time, and you thought, okay, well, now I can actually put this into practice?
Yes, it had been brewing, and you know what, Emma? What changed everything was a trip to the doctor. Now, I was asked to be 48, perhaps about 48, 49 at this point.
I told you about my last trip to the doctor, and you found that extremely funny and really quite distasteful. So we're not going to go there.
This wasn't anything like that. It was
Okay. Well, thank God.
I'd gone because I was. I went on the pretense that I had tennis elbow, and I went along. I had a little ache and pain. And then Columbo style, as I was leaving the doctor's office, I put my hand on the doorknob. I looked around and I said,
One more thing.
Could you give me something for anxiety? And the doctor did something which I hope all doctors will have the time to do. He said, come back, sit down, tell me what really is the problem. And I did. I said, I don't feel that my life has purpose. I'm not fulfilling ambition. I want to have an adventure. I've seen people in my life go far too soon and not live out their dreams. And I realize how precious this life is. And I want to live for them and me. I don't want to waste this life, but I feel so guilty to put myself first like this. I feel I'm just, I don't deserve to put myself first. And he said, look, you know what? If you don't deal with this, if you don't address this need, you will be ill. And he said, your kids don't want that. And I left that 10-minute appointment 30 minutes later, and I still to this day apologize to everyone in the waiting room. But his word stuck. I needed that advice. And the next day I spoke to my family and I got a sabbatical organized at work, and I thought, right, that's it. Now I'm going to have an adventure. But I didn't quite know what it would be. So I planned to sail across an ocean, to ride an Indian Scout from Las Vegas, San Fran, down to Los Angeles, and to visit the Panama Canal, because I'd always found that fascinating. I thought, I'm going to make this adventure, a bespoke adventure for myself, and just see what happens. And out of all of those things, it was jumping on an Indian Scout and rekindling that love and also that community that I found. I found family again, and I found a passion and love. And then one thing just led to another.
And here you are.
Yeah, and this is where I am.
Pretty cool, huh?
No, it's amazingly cool. And I think it's a story that's going to resonate with a great many people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we're all looking to have some purpose. And that's not necessarily in the big scheme of things. It's within.
Yes.
It's not just without, it's within.
Yes. Yes.
Emma is very fortunate to know her purpose in life.
To annoy you.
Yes.
That is my number. And
do you know, she said that while we were having an ice cream against your orders.
And I want you to know, Liza, that I do not shirk from that responsibility one iota. Do not shirk from that. I take it enormously seriously. And I think I'm quite good at it. Yeah. Don't you?
Well, to wrap that around, how's your anxiety level now?
Right now?
Not at the moment. In general.
Different type.
Did it help?
Good. Yeah.
Did it fix it?
Yeah.
Or help it?
Yes, because I was answering a call, right? I was answering, and that is another chapter in my book, Answer the Call. I was doing something that aligned with me, that aligned with who I was inside. And who we are inside often has its roots in childhood, right? Because we are sometimes socialized so that the person you are, and you remember what you liked as a kid, right? You might be someone who liked art, who liked singing, and you might like just dancing. And you were often told,
I like motorcycles.
I did too.
Well, I need to say no more, but so often, we're told those things when we grow up.
I'm built that way.
Yeah. We're told those aren't serious choices,
right?
And we're told to shelve those things in favor of going to become an accountant.
But that requires a certain amount of reflection, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To try to figure out who you are.
Yeah. But But if you need a clue, there's a great book by Martha Beck called Following Your North Star.
Interesting.
And she explains that the body is a compass and that you'll feel it in your body. When when you're doing something you love, you expand, you feel lighter, you feel energized. When you're doing something that's against your core values, you constrict, you feel heavy, there's a weight in your stomach.
Well, that's the truth.
You're sluggish. And if you listen to those guidance, often people don't know what their purpose is, but listen to your body. You'll know what makes that bundle of joy arise in your tummy and fill you with lightness. And today, just that little ride we had.
Oh, isn't it great?
I was just wiggling my bum on that seat. I was singing.
I saw it.
There was joy in my heart. And that's how I know it's my calling.
And, I want to make sure that we don't deviate too much away from motorcycling because, ultimately this is a motorcycling podcast, but this dovetails in very well. But I wanted to address something that you will understand, and Americans not so much. Like you, I grew up in a fatherless household, but there is a particular style of parenting by English women of a certain generation, your mother's generation, my mother's generation, there's very much a distance. And it can leave you a little wanting. And I'm trying to think of the word, a little more aloof as a parent, I feel.
Yeah. And you know what, that was at the time. And my mother didn't have any support. And so she kind of checked out and let me work it out for myself.
Right.
And I have absolutely nothing but love for her. And I realized that was of her time. It was that aloofness. But this is why there was a bit of a void and I needed to fill it. And
funnily enough, I've had the same conversation both about and with my mother recently. And I'm far more stoic about it than my brother. My brother's like, no, I'm done.
Right.
Whereas she did the best she could with what she had at the time.
Yes, exactly. And we are doing it now.
Exactly.
And we're
all
probably
doing
making
it now.
mistakes, right?
Oh, good Lord, yeah. I mean, I make a mistake every time I swing a leg over a motorcycle, but it's a delicious mistake.
Yes. Yeah.
And I enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah.
Well, Louisa, this is a perfect opportunity for you to give a plug. If somebody's interested in checking
Buy my book.
where can they find it?
Well, the easiest solution is just to go on Amazon, to be fair. But if you want the book, go to a library and ask them to stock it. Because my mission is to get this into people's hands, to get it read, to introduce Stoicism to people, to inspire them and help them to lead a life that is less anxious, less awkward, and to find their purpose.
Do we have a copy in here?
Thing.
Do we have a copy in here right now?
Yeah.
If you could just hand me a copy, please.
There you go.
The book is titled The Stoic Rider, Philosophy in Motion. Louisa Swaden. ISBN number 978-106-821-0709. Available at Amazon and other fine retailers.
Yes.
For the bargain sum of...
It's not on the back.
It's not on the back.
It's like $15.
$15 in soft black.
£12.
And in Kindle. I just bought the Kindle version. So.
Oh, you bought the Kindle version?
I did, yeah.
There's also
There's no pictures.
That's what I said.
Well, there is one.
Wait.
Backside.
Yeah.
But there's one free copy available to a listener.
We are going to give away this very
Here's how this
copy.
is going to work.
One there. Yeah.
If you are interested in getting a copy of this book, all you have to do
is give us a Marcus Aurelius quote.
No.
Nice.
Is send us an email to motorcyclesandmisfits.com, and all you have to do is tell me the color of her Hayabusa.
How are you going to figure out if you get a bunch of emails at the same time?
first one that comes in with the correct color, which was mentioned.
That's right.
That was mentioned.
In order to answer the question, you got to listen to the bloody podcast. It's
So-
not hard.
Send your email to motorcyclesandmisfits.com or
At Gmail.
motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com. And in the
Just mark it
description, just
Stoic.
Stoic. Yes, I love that. Stoic. And list the color of our Hayabusa. And first one will get a copy.
Signed copy.
So
a signed copy.
Yeah.
Good Lord. You're
No,
going to be...
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're leaving it
If
here with
you
me.
receive this book as a gift,
It'll be
you'd
signed to
better-
me.
you'd better declare it because you're going to be in the next tax bracket. This is of such high value.
So, I have some more news.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Well, as we're plotting for next August,
Scheming.
scheming,
Yes.
there's another scheme, another plot we've been working on
Liza's machinations.
for May, June. And I will say, ferry tickets have been purchased.
Oh, I know what that means.
Yeah.
TT.
Isle of
I'm
Man
going to
Steam
the
Packet
TT.
Company.
Oh boy.
I'm going to the TT. Now, here's the deal. We are in talks with the TT to have a Women Riders World Relay parade lap
Yeah, that's
of
fun.
all women. It'll be the first time this has ever happened.
That's cool.
Wow.
We want to get
Stoking.
Carolyn Sells, first woman to win a race there. Any of the other racers, as well as Louisa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get Elsbeth there.
Haley's coming. A bunch of us are all gonna go, and
Fun.
I'm like, you guys. Next year, I'm gonna do a lap at the TT, and I'm gonna be on the salt at Bonneville. This is I'm kind of like, whoa. Every year we just do so much stuff, and I'm like, it can't get better, and then we start planning the next year, and it gets better. And Bagel, I was thinking for you, because you got very excited about this concept.
Mm-hmm.
You should start looking at the records in your CC categories and see if you can make a scooter.
Go above 20 miles an hour. Safely.
Possibly.
Is there a record for the fastest scooter while wearing flip-flops?
I don't think
No, I
that
don't
would
think it
pass tech.
No, it's not in the rule book. Bagel, you may want to look at something. Can you put nitrous on any of those scooters?
Well, it depends on the class you're running in. You can put nitrous. You can put wet nitrous on anything.
It would have to be able to support that much power, and that's a
Without the
question
bottom
that
end going kablooey.
remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But I have had some thoughts about, Bonneville
Bagel.
runs in the past.
Bagel.
I
I wonder if there's a record for the world's fastest tuk-tuk. See what he has behind him?
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, Bagel, your weak point is going to be the transmission, because the GTS 300 engine is soft enough. You could probably run a 4-second shot of nitrous on that without grenading it. But the weak point is going to be the transmission.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's I'm not even dreaming of running a modern Vespa.
What you'd have to do is figure out a lock-up transmission. And then
Well,
you can lock up the transmission and then hit the nitrous, and then off you go. Like a scalded cat, as it were.
I have other ideas that are
I bet
more
they're rotten.
No, they're more electrically related.
Oh.
No, we don't use that kind of talk around here, baby.
Bagel, start
Elastic
planning
trickery.
because I think we're going to have a
So,
misfits.
according to ChatGPT, there is no well-documented scooter class record in public records.
Well,
There you go.
It's hard to even get scooters to run at Bonneville. We'll put it that way.
Well, little wheels. I'm sure they're terrifying.
Yeah, but you have no
That's
motor in that
part of-
tuk-tuk, right?
Say what?
You have no motor in that tuk-tuk, right?
Well, there is, but I mean,
You could put any motor in that.
theoretically, yeah.
Boosa.
Oh, God.
Just saying.
Can you make a streamliner for it?
Streamliner tuk-tuk?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I've seen them do mopeds at
Would I lay flat on it like Rolly Free?
I don't know. We've got some time to plan, but I wanted to get to some emails and
fastest mobility scooter 180.26, 112 miles an hour.
I'm going to make a rule today only. All emails need to be read in a British accent.
No.
Let's start with Louisa.
Awesome.
She should have to read it in an American accent.
No.
All right. I recently discovered your podcast after growing tired of the usual sports radio banter. I have been listening to all of you for a few weeks while wrenching in my garage at night. I really enjoyed episode 630 where you talked up Sportsters. I grew up going to dirt tracks all over the eastern half of the US in the 80s and 90s, and I knew I had to own one day. Still loving and riding in my 05 that I bought new, and I'm quite different from the typical Harley guy, and I wear full armoured gear, full face, and would rather be at a sports bike or motocross race than any poser bike night.
Good on you.
Just finished a full rebuild on my old 89 RM250. Sold that, bought another dream machine, an 1980 Honda CT 110. It's nearly complete after spending all winter rebuilding and painting everything. Up next is an 82 CB750F, and your show will be on until I run out of episodes. Keep up the great work. Loving the show.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, Emma, you have one there.
I do. And this is from Dave Hambear. Hello again, Misfit.
Who?
Dave Hambear.
Oh, okay.
Hello again, Misfits. I just wanted to thank you all for the consideration regarding the request for the helmet and cup holder. I wasn't really expecting either. But had Liza been in the studio when you read my email, she may have given a big shite-out to the fact that I was asking about the Scorpion helmet. If I recall, that model is one that she just bought and loves.
Yes.
Tra-la-la. You'll be glad to hear I was able to source a cup holder for the GS.
Why are you talking this way?
She acted like a drunk Brit.
I thought it was drunk, yeah.
And maybe the stroller cup holder clamps nicely onto the BMW handlebar. It will suffice for now.
Emma, show some respect.
Oh, all right, then. As long as nobody can work...
But you can read it in a Cockney accent.
No, I'm not going to.
Or
No, I'm not
Scottish
going to.
will
now.
do.
Go,
I was in
Scottish.
No, I was enjoying doing my gin and tonic voice. Anyway, I'll start again. You'll be glad to hear I was able to source a cup holder for the GS. A fucking baby stroller cup holder clamps nicely on the BMW handlebar and will suffice for now, as long as nobody can read the word
Farkle from the baby store. I love it.
Graco on it. He's got Graco on the cup holder. Fantastic. Circling back to my suggestion to check out my Facebook page at Washougal Classics. Oh, Washougal Custom Classics. I probably should have been a bit more clear as to what I do there in my spare time. WCC, and that's obviously a shortened version of Washougal Custom Classics, primary focus has been to restore and customize classic Volkswagens. How about that? But it got its start converting mid-80s bikes to blobbers, cafes, brats, etc. So maybe you can all have some fun discussing how a whole generation of generally hideous bikes could be transformed into beautiful swan-like masterpieces.
I have long said 90s cruisers are the perfect bike because you can't make it any worse.
Right, exactly.
Buy it, chop it up, do whatever you want.
Tra-la-la. My goal there was to enable a new generation of riders to love and enjoy riding without breaking the bank. And that's the key. Because if you can build a custom bike, a complete custom bike, as you say, bespoke bike, and offer it at a price that's reasonable enough that a younger or newer rider can afford it. You see, that's where it's at, isn't it? You'll also find some interesting electric vehicle conversion projects. Oh, there you are, Bagel.
Yes.
That I have done on my site. I included a few pictures for your enjoyment. Cheers to you all. I thoroughly enjoyed the topics, the experience, banter, and general misfitty antics of this group. Be blessed and kept. From Dave Hamby of Washougal custom classics.
Check out those pictures.
And
Nice.
so Dave sent us some lovely photographs. And the first one is, I'm guessing, I think that's a KZ 650.
Oh, nice.
And then his BMW with a Graco cup holder. Yamaha Maxim.
Really?
Yeah. Another custom thing with a backrest and a fairing. And I'm guessing this picture is how he finds them because it looks abandoned in a field. And then a bevy of Honda Magmas at the bottom.
Nice.
Magma.
Yeah, Magma.
Well, thank you for sending that in. All right, we've got one more. Bagel, what region of England are you going to be reading as?
Well, perhaps Essex.
All right, mate.
Oh,
You're
nice.
a cautionary jay.
I don't know. Hi, Misfits. Last
What, you
December,
git?
You tosser.
Yeah,
I
he's
bought a
a
little
fucking
electric
tosser, isn't he,
scooter.
eh?
I bought a little electric
Well,
scooter for-
what?
Let him read.
last December. I bought a little electric scooter for commuting about 4 miles.
What? No, carry on, Bagel. It's like you're there. It's honestly, it's like you're there.
I can practically hear the sheep in the background.
It's a 60-volt system operated by 5 lead-acid batteries linked together.
Together, right then.
Both the bike and the batteries are of dubious quality
As this
with
is
very
reading.
little labelling and information available.
Blimey.
It was a $500 new scooter. The speed is limited to 55 kilometers per hour, about 30 miles an hour, so it's a 50cc equivalent. Last week, my battery started having trouble holding the charge,
Oh, fuck me. That's terrible, isn't it, eh?
losing a lot of power after one round trip and struggling on the hills coming home.
Oh, no. You couldn't get home for a cup of tea and a fish cake, could ya? Hey?
After a bit of Googling, I decided I had caused a little damage by overcharging the batteries, leaving them overnight a few times with a dumb charger running.
Bagel, I'm going to stop. Have you ever watched Thunderbirds?
Yes.
Because you've nailed Parker. I'm listening to fucking Parker right now.
Nosy Parker.
Yes, Lady Penelope.
I did see that topping off the water in a refillable battery could help. So I looked to see if my batteries were refillable. I didn't see a label, but the cover was slightly raised and had a screwdriver prying me open here spots. The only thing it looked like it was designed to be sealed was that there was a rubber nipple over each cell.
A nipple?
A nipple. They lifted right off and let out a spit of gases, which is a side effect of overcharging from what I read. Not meeting any kind of resistance up to this point, and seemingly having my suspicions confirmed, I splashed in some distilled water in all the cells.
Fuck me, how long's this email?
Oh, yeah.
My first 2 trips went just fine, charging after each trip, but I noticed my charger was showing the batteries fully charged really quickly. Charging in about an hour instead of the usual 3 or 4.
Three or four?
Yesterday, trip number 3, my bike started losing charge about halfway in, and I had to charge to make it home. This morning, despite me leaving the battery on the charger for over 2 hours, my bike lost power less than a mile in. Did I add water to sealed batteries and destroy them, or could I have inadvertently done something else? Thank you in advance, Mike D.
Mike, and I'm going to answer this seriously. If you were to look inside a battery, you would find alternating lead and fiberglass plates. And the fiberglass is separating the lead plates. And the acid and distilled water mix goes between, forming, basically an electrical current. The plates need to be basically straight. Yours will be bent like a pretzel. So, unfortunately, it's a byproduct of overcharging. At some stage, your batteries have overcharged and, the plates within have kind of gone and had a heart attack, and there's no real coming back from it. Chuck them away. I'm sorry. I know that's going to be an expensive hit for you. But something is overcharging that bike, and you really need to deal with that issue, because if you don't, you're going to fry the next set of batteries.
So is it a reg rack then?
Well, it sounds like it came with a charger that wasn't trying to maintain the batteries, or doing any sort of battery cell management or anything like that. So
I think that
it's like you have to charge it to full and then unplug it. Otherwise, you run the risk of overcharging.
And I think that's probably what happened. At some stage, those batteries have been overcharged. And the two things that kill batteries is sulfation, which is a byproduct of leaving it discharged, and overcharging, which basically buckles the plates. And I think that is a bad case of buckle plates. So, tra-la-la, I'm sorry.
Well,
or should I say, you're fucked, ain't you?
So, Louisa, how did Bagel do?
I thought he did really, really well. There's a little bit of Australian was slipping in there.
Right.
Neighbours though.
Yeah. But all in all, I'd give that a 9 out of 10.
No, I think I'm inclined to agree with you, Louisa. I think solid 9, a solid 9. Look how much he's blushing. I think that's worth an extra half a point at least. So 9.5 out of 10. You scored 19 out of a possible 20, Bagel. Well done.
Congratulations.
Nice, well done. Well, and well done, everyone, for making it to the end of the show.
The big shoe.
Thank you, everyone, for
I
listening.
think everyone should breathe a sigh of relief, having wasted an hour and a half of your time listening to this absolute verbal diarrhea. But thank you.
And I have a few more things I'd like to do. Thank you guys for covering while I was gone, the garage, the podcast.
Oh, you're
really
welcome.
Appreciate that. And thank you, Louisa, for being our guest tonight.
We're your friends, Liza.
And for backing me on the whole Jeep thing. Appreciate that. And especially thanks to our listeners and our Patreon subscribers.
The finest human beings on the face of the
Absolutely.
planet, bar none.
Yes.
Absolutely. One more time again, you want to plug your book?
Yes, please. Yeah. The Stoic Rider. But if you want to just follow me for occasional words of wisdom or Stoic words, if you look up the Existential Biker, that's kind of the name that I write under. But I also have a social media presence under the Existential Biker. So yeah, please do follow me. And
You do a Substack too?
No, I'm looking into that.
Okay.
I hear it's pretty good platform.
Good for writers, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be looking at that.
So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Shorts a bit, but yeah.
The Existential Biker.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for letting me come on the show, and it's been a journey.
Well, and
See what I did
talk
there?
about a journey. Emma, what are you doing tomorrow for lunch?
Not a lot. I shall be at work. Why, you want to come over?
Well, actually, we're riding down to Nepenthe. You want to join us?
I can't join you for a ride, but I would be crushed if you didn't stop by the shop.
Stop by. So-
I am so busy. Unfortunately, I've got a BMW S1000 I've got to put back together. I just did the valve clearances on it. And I have Harley-Davidson problems as well.
So tomorrow we are going to ride down to Big Sur. So that'll be the next big fun thing for her to see. She's been so excited about the ocean and the otters and the redwoods and the slugs and just all the things. And
I wish you beautiful weather all the way.
I have to tell you, though, she's been loving everything here. And a lot of it has been new, some new foods, new sights. But she saw something for the first time in her life that was very exciting.
Banana slug?
No, better than that. We were actually in Henry Cowell, Redwood.
Tarantula.
Better than that. And we were looking about for slugs or something, and there it was, trotting down the pathway.
Coyote.
Even better,
Two-stroke man?
a furry.
Like a man in a furry suit?
What?
A squirrel?
A man in a
Bear.
fox or a
Bear
bear.
squirrel hybrid.
Bear squirrel
Wow.
thing.
So he was in full fursona? Is that
Yeah,
right?
in persona.
Fantastic.
And Louisa's like, I'm sorry, what's happening
Well,
here?
I thought there'd be a troop of children around, and he was just kind of an educational tour guide.
No, he
was just filling in,
He was out looking for a hookup. Is what he was doing.
and I was thinking, where are the kids? This is obviously an educational moment for them, and he's
One
just
way
like,
or another.
and there was no one, and there was just I didn't get a couple of friends just walking beside him, and I thought, well, this is odd.
Bloody hell.
Welcome to Santa Cruz.
Welcome to
And
Santa
then
Cruz.
you explained it, and
I explained it, and she's like, no,
I thought you were kidding.
pulling my
I
knee.
No, furry. So was he realistic or was he kind of like?
It was
cartoon?
a really well-made
Yeah.
outfit. I wouldn't say it's realistic.
So-
Yeah, it's more like
But it
Sonic
was
the
good
Hedgehog
quality.
Yeah.
it
And
was
so
real
just to get
quality.
back up, like the next people that come walking down, I'm like, did you see the furry? And they're like, oh yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy up
Yeah.
there. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
You
What? I don't talk like that. But you know what? I thought it was great, and he let me pose with him.
You got a picture together.
I did, and kudos.
Oh, I'd like to see this.
Kudos to the guy because it was so hot, and I was thinking,
Yeah, and I'm sure it's quite warm in there.
Yeah, you got to really love what you do.
So,
This might need to be our caption.
Oh, that's a furry. Oh, my. Oh God, he looks like somebody from Paw Patrol.
Oh, that is
I
seriously
know.
furry.
I know.
Oh no!
Oh, show it to the camera so Bagel can see.
Oh man.
Oh, wait. Oh, it's coming around. There it is. There you go, Bagel.
Very cool.
Louisa and the Furry.
Nice.
That should be the title of the show, Louisa and the Furry.
No.
And the
Funnily
Stoic
enough-
Furry.
Well, as long as you don't show the other picture you took of me today.
Oh my God! So, no, I had a lovely ride yesterday, down to San Luis Obispo for the Central Coast Classic Motorcycle Show.
Oh, it's been years since I've been.
Yeah, and it was very good. But interesting enough, on the way back,
Yeah.
I saw my first bobcat.
Oh.
Oh.
So we're all seeing furry things.
And I look back at all the years I've been here, I've never seen a bobcat in
They're
the wild.
smaller than you think, aren't they?
Well, this guy was quite buff. I mean, if you actually see a bobcat in the wild, I mean, it's clearly a cat.
You know what a bobcat is, yeah?
No, I can't say.
It's like
So-
a puma.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or
I
a
want you
lynx.
to imagine
Mhm.
a domestic cat that's really buff,
Mm-hmm.
no tail, so they got a kind of big butt, but about the size of a spaniel.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Okay.
and unfortunately, I'm suspecting his chances weren't that good because he was very much alive and kicking, but he was the central reservation of Highway 101 just outside King City, and I'm not sure how he ended up there. But
Oh.
yeah, amazing looking things.
That's fun.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, good times.
Good times throughout.
What should we ask our listeners to email us about?
Well,
About furries.
Furries.
so
Absolutely.
What furry things have you encountered on an adventure?
Or I'd like to know a picture of our furriest listener.
You
Oh,
you
God.
are the furriest.
I'm one of them,
misfit.
yes, but somebody's got to be furrier than me.
Well, no, Bagel, I feel.
Bagel's pretty furry.
They're
Bagel
pretty
is furry. And on a slightly more serious note, I need to put. I'm not going to say a stop. I think we need to really announce the winners for this year of our Jason Awards. And if you remember, this was a request I made a few years ago in honor of a young man who
No,
lost.
not years.
Sorry?
Weeks.
No. Couple of weeks we're ending it, but it's this year's. I want to do this
you said
every
a couple
year.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Forgive me. A couple of weeks ago, I made a request, and this is anybody who's overcome a great hurdle to get where they are, either to ride a motorcycle or used a motorcycle as a medium to overcome a hurdle. We're honouring this young man, Jason, who lost his life on a motorcycle. So far, I have 3 submissions, and they're all wonderful. I would like a couple more. I'm going to announce the winner in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be a very, very nice prize.
Great.
So if you either are somebody who's overcome a hurdle or you know somebody who's overcome a hurdle, with their permission, please write in, let us know, so we can honor this young man.
And you can send that to motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
And just mark it Jason.
Mark it Jason. Go on over to our website, motorcyclesandmisfits.com.
Because it's great.
You can buy a T-shirt. You can just check out our pics, see what we're doing. And you can also reach us through there. There's a contact us. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. We've had a great time. And we're going to continue having a great week because adventure and the motto, just say yes.
Just say oui.
Just say yes. So thank you, everyone. Time to get out of here. This is Liza.
Emma, darling.
Sofia.
It's Neil.
Stumpy John.
Louisa.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.